Hello and welcome to Pickleball Den. This is Bob Yakbuchi. In this video, I'm going to go through how you can check players in. And there are two choices you have. The first choice is to allow players to check themselves in, or you can check in players manually. There might be a case where you will decide, hey, let's just have players check themselves in, but a player may either forgot their phone or they can't sign on, they forgot their passcodes. And so we're going to also go through how you manually check in players. So we're going to go through those two cases where a player checks themselves in or you check them in as a tournament staff. So the first thing you want to do is set the check-in code for automated check-ins. So you go under event and you say check-in players, but down here's the code that you want to put the 5-digit code in here. So we're going to say 22334, and this is the code that players will use to check themselves in. And so you'll put this code on a board or a sign somewhere near the court facilities where players will be coming in with some brief instructions of sign on to Pickleball Den. You might decide to have a QR code that points to our website, tell them to log on and type this code in, and we're going to show you that here in a moment. So that's the idea. You don't want to send this code out via email. Again, you do not want to do that because the idea is they put this code in when they're physically at the courts, not ahead of time. So we're going to go ahead and press save, and that's all you have to do to get the settings check-in code set. And so what I'm going to do is sign on as a player to show you what that looks like. Okay, so I signed on as Austin, and let's assume that I'm Austin. I'm at the courts, and I see your sign that says go to Pickleball Den and log in, and put the check-in code. So let's go ahead and do that. 224, and that's all Austin has to do. And now he's checked in. So Austin's all checked in and ready to go. And so that's all a player has to do to check themselves in. Now I'm going to go through what you will do if a player cannot sign on to their device, and so you have to check them in manually. So I'm going to go ahead and sign on as a tournament director. Okay, so I'm signed in as the tournament director, and the options you want to go under again is this check-in players, and then you're going to type the player's name here. Okay, so let's assume it's Sean that has showed up the courts, and he says he has his phone, but he doesn't know how to sign on. He forgot his codes. And so let's just say, hey, we're not going to deal with that right now. Maybe later we'll show you how to correct that. But for now, you just go ahead and put the player's name in, and you can type part of the player's name. It doesn't have to be their full name. And then you press search. And so it goes off and finds Sean, and you can go ahead and click on that, and that checks the player in. The other thing that you may want to do is put in their phone number so that they will receive phone text, because if they can't sign on, then they can't see the brackets or anything. So you want to go ahead and put their phone number in here and press save phone. That way they're at least receiving text messages. This number down here is a birth date, and you will can look at that. Like, let's say there's two Seans in your tournament for some reason, and you're just not sure which one it is. You can always ask them for their birth date, and then go ahead and verify that with the birth date there. So that's how a player checks themselves in, and how you can manually check in a player. One other report that I want to show you very quickly is if we go back, uh, before the brackets, maybe before the brackets start, you want to verify that all the players are on site. So there's this check-in report, and what this will do is, as players check in, this column here called check-in date will get filled in. And as it gets filled in, it will start pushing all the ones who have not checked in towards the bottom of the list. So let's go ahead and look. Okay, we can see here that these two players have checked in, and these are the ones that we were using for our example. So, and up here it says today's pending brackets. So we go ahead and we can kind of scan down through here and see all the players who have checked in and not checked in. If there's a player without a check-in date, that means they have not checked in, and you can obviously locate that player and let them know that either check in or you check them in yourself. So that's pretty much it for managing all the check-ins. So have a good time on the courts and have a good day. Thank you for listening.